All right, I will call the meeting to order. For resolution number 131-25, be it resolved that the meeting be convened at 7 PM with Mayor Ray Muirhead in the chair, moved by,
Mike.
seconded by.
Sam.
All in favor? Carried. We have the roll call. Muirhead's present, Kalanoa's present, Laray's present, Sudak's present, Van Dam is present, and Youth Councilor Boganis is present. All present and accounted for. We have the adoption of agenda. We have resolution 132-25. Be it resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of June 10th, 2025 be adopted as circulated. Moved by.
Bill.
Seconded by.
Debbie.
Any additions or deletions? Hearing, seeing none. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. We have the adoption of a minutes. We have resolution number 133-25. Be it resolved that the minutes for the regular meeting of May 13th and the special meeting of May 28th be adopted as circulated. Moved by.
Sam.
Seconded by.
Mike.
Any errors or omissions? Seeing none, all those in favor, opposed, that is carried. We have resolution number 135-25, be it resolved that council adjourn the public hearing and resume the regular meeting. Moved by.
I think that you skipped.
You skipped.
Oh, I skipped. Let me go back. So under planning at 7 o'clock Witherspoon variation, we have a resolution 134-25. Be it resolved that council adjourn the regular meeting for the purposes of a public hearing regarding V09-25-C. Moved by.
Debbie.
Seconded by.
Bill. Oh, sorry.
Sam. Okay, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. So I guess this is a you.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. They are wanting to, subdivide their duplex, but they want to switch. They want to reduce the minimum side width on, lot 1 from 50 feet to 38.62 and lot 2 to 27.73. And residential general zone, and then there's the subdivision 2. So,
Does everybody know what this is involved? The Witherspoons have a duplex up in the north end.
there's a site map here.
Yeah. It's usually commonplace now when people do single level, believe multi-level duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, is to condominiumize, if that's a word,
Yeah,
while they're being built. And that way it's for future sale. So this is basically what they're trying to do, is just kind of split it down the middle so that you can sell each.
Yeah, they're attached, so it really is.
Yeah.
So the center wall is gonna be the property line,
yeah,
and then the reduction, what you just said, will be the other side.
yeah,
So it's it's a pretty straightforward.
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you've seen that.
Yeah.
Okay. So does anybody have any questions or comments regarding this? You're aware of this makes sense to you, Sam? As the new counselor, just making sure?
Yeah.
I don't see anybody here objecting, so I think it's pretty straightforward.
yeah, perfect.
Okay, I don't think we need to wait. Do we need to wait for a few minutes if people show up? I don't think anybody's coming, nobody was on the
Started at
agenda.
7 o'clock, so.
Okay. I'm gonna read this next resolution. I'm gonna read resolution number 136-25, be it resolved that council approve
Yep.
geez, I'm all. Resolution number 135-25, be it resolved that council adjourn the public hearing and resume the regular meeting. Moved by,
Mike.
seconded by.
Bill.
All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. And yeah, I should have got you to print me one of those too. I'm not used to this.
Sorry.
So I have resolution number 136-25. Be it resolved the council approve V09-25-C as presented. Moved by,
Sam.
seconded by.
Mike.
One last time, no questions, comments, straightforward. Okay, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Thank you very much, Joel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a great evening.
Yeah, thank
See you
you.
next time.
You betcha.
So we're at number 6, delegations. It's at 7:10, it's 7:05, but we can moving up, we have the Carberry Daycare Fundraising Committee. If you want to, is there room there to move up a couple of chairs or instead of sitting way at the back?
Yeah, yeah, pull one chair up if you want.
Yeah, you guys can sneak into whatever chair.
Yeah, sure. That way we're not yelling at everybody.
So we are officially Tiny Taters Childcare Cooperative.
Yep.
And we are here to ask for a suspension of property taxes.
Okay,
So there are a couple of reasons for it. The first thing is we had drawings submitted to the province, to the early learning people in the province. Where we are planning to do a 2-story daycare. The basement is like 4 feet in. It would have big windows. We weren't intending to finish the basement because the first floor can hold our 55 kids.
right,
And we feel like it'll be hard to staff up to get to the 110. We don't feel like we'll have a problem getting the children. We feel like we'll have a problem getting the kids
right,
or the staff, sorry.
Yeah.
So the province's big concern when they reviewed it, they came back and said, why aren't you doing the basement? Because we have a grant. 60-40 split. And when the money's gone, it's gone.
right. Yeah,
Right, and so we went back, we were working with a company called Quantum first. And so we said to her, well, can we afford to? Like, I'm not doing this and then bankrupting our daycare.
right, yeah,
So we know for sure, our mortgage payments are gonna be heavy at a 40%, because there's a lot of stuff that the province doesn't cover under their 60%, which is the furnishings. There's a startup grant, but it's like $630 a kid. So we need to buy tables, chairs, cots, lockers, dishes, toys, outdoor equipment, fence. So we have to pay the difference at 100%.
Okay.
If we didn't have to pay property taxes, we would be sitting comfortably where we could be putting money into the reserves for equipment, operating, repairs, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And we're still, Kathy at Cooperatives First is still running the numbers, but there's a good chance we can afford to do the whole building.
Yeah.
And then with the announcement of the increased wages for daycare workers, we have heard just ourselves, EAs thinking, maybe I need to change where I work with children because I can now make more money at the daycare.
well, a lot more than an EA?
I'm not, I don't know what EAs make, but essentially the daycare workers will be getting about a $5 an hour raise.
Really good for
Yeah.
them.
It's good. It's a long time coming.
Oh,
And the difference too between EAs and early childhood educators is EAs are not full-time year-round, right?
Mhm.
They don't work when the school is.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
So it would be an increase in wages if you.
Their annual salary.
You betcha.
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. So we're trying to get ourselves into the best financial position that we can make this as successful as possible. We know we're gonna have to go after parents for fundraising and that sort of thing. It happens at every center.
Yeah.
But while we pay our mortgage, we would be more financially comfortable without having to pay a property tax.
Makes sense.
Mhm.
Just before we carry on, just as a housekeeping thing I forgot to do. I think we know everybody, but just on the off chance we do, I'm just gonna do a quick introduction around the table so we all know. So I'm Mayor Ray Muirhead.
You know me.
Debbie Ray.
And Christopher Gaines.
I'm Sam Van Dam.
Bill Calhoun. John McNeely.
And Diane Barman.
Jordan Bicknell, Krista Glacier,
We all know each other now.
yes.
Okay, does anybody have done your presentation? That was,
The other thing I wanted to mention is, and I feel bad saying it, time is of the essence.
Yeah. no,
Only because we would change our design of the first floor if we could do the second floor at the same time.
Okay.
So we've put the design on hold because we want to make sure we get it right the first time.
Yeah.
Now our builders are out of Saskatchewan, it's a RTM.
Yeah.
It would be 3 RTMs together. And they've been told when we give them the go, they have 2 weeks.
okay,
So the sooner we get it into the province, because the province can't announce funding if there is a provincial or federal by-election, and both are coming.
Mhm.
So we would like to have our application in by the end of June.
okay.
You mind if I?
Yeah, I was gonna go around the table.
Committee, so-
Yeah, go ahead, if anybody's going, go
Yeah.
ahead, Mike.
So they've worked really hard.
Yeah.
They've done their research and their homework on everything. They've put all this money into it. And the big thing is the assessment, right? Like, so the square footage of the building and how new it is, like the bill rate plus the assessment would be astronomical.
You
I mean,
can actually clarify that.
Okay,
We don't pay the mill rate or school taxes.
okay,
So the estimate you gave was just like.
It's just, fire, police, streetlight.
right, so,
And then your garbage.
right.
And.
We all got a copy of that in our package.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just, yeah, and then so on that, and on that one, like I mentioned to them, and I'll just be transparent. I mentioned them like on our strategic plan, like daycare and stuff was always part of this, our strategic plan to bring more housing and everything in.
Yeah.
So I did say I can't speak for everybody, but for myself, right? I would support,
Yeah.
you know, a break on the taxes because that's part of our strategic plan to bring more housing and people into the community. And that's something we've always needed. So we worked really hard for. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that,
Yeah.
like on that one, being in these meetings for all the meetings all the time. So
Anybody else got anything?
I guess the question I have is how long of a break are you asking for?
So we're gonna ask for a suspension for the term of our mortgage,
And that is how many?
25 years.
Ooh,
Yes. That would be our ask.
That would be a good ask.
But can I just clarify something else as well? We talked about though, the other cooperative is attached to the school, which means that they're attached to the school and those taxes are paid like through there. So like that daycare as well as getting a break, which is full, right? So,
They don't pay utilities, they don't pay snow clearing, grass cutting.
They get a break on a
Maybe-
lot of things being part of the
So,
school,
Yeah.
which we would have to cover.
I just wanted to clarify that part as well too, right? So like it is a service, like it would be for the community.
Yeah.
And it'd bring, like, if we wanted that housing, right, that's a big part is the daycare, right? Like,
okay, so what are we talking about? What was it, about
7,500 was the.
per year for 25 years? That's a lot of money.
You got anything, Debbie or Sam or?
Our, North Cypress Langford is in on this too, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's what I was, are you,
Okay.
you anything or?
I just have a question.
Yeah.
Is there a way that we could do like a portion of it instead of like none at all? Or is it just like a yes or no?
Well, I talked to Grady about this. We do have a policy regarding incentives. And he's not sure how it's gonna work with daycares. Usually our policy sits for residential and business. I feel there should be one for the daycare. I'm all for it. I mean, that was one of the top priorities when we hired our economic development officer and started that program. We did the survey.
Yeah.
500 or so came back and every one of them was just about like daycare. So I've been at Hartley recently, Oak Lake, Boulder. They got these nice new daycares. I'm thinking Carberry needs a daycare. I don't think we can commit right here and now, but we will do our best to certainly help you. As far as the 25-year thing, I'm not going to guarantee that, but this is also a joint, like the RM and North Cypress Langford. Did you go to their meeting yesterday or no?
We didn't, because the way that we understood it is because the subdivision will go through and it wouldn't be joint land. After that, it would only be town land.
I think it's going to be joint, isn't it?
no, they
No.
own it.
Oh,
It'll be
really?
town, yeah.
We would-
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing that we could ask for is until the, suspension until the daycare is full, because once, our operating grant is based on children in seats,
Yeah.
right? So once we have the spaces full, once we have enough staff to fill the spaces, we could pay our property taxes. We just don't know how long that's gonna.
No, we would try our best. I'm sure I can speak for council. We would try to do our absolute level best to accommodate you. We will do whatever we have to do. When Grady gets back on Thursday, we're gonna check into this and see what's all involved. If the policy doesn't allow for daycares, maybe we amend the policy. But you need an answer by the end of June. We would commit to getting you something by then.
Okay.
And as far as, I didn't know that the RM were involved, but I would put it on the next joint council meeting and put it to the RM to see if they would be interested in contributing some. maybe, and this is just me spitballing, I'm not speaking for everybody, maybe if we commit to something with taxes, maybe they would commit to something
An operating grant.
of an equal value that would,
Yeah.
Of an equal
you
value, yeah.
know, make it kind of like the 25 years, if you know
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
Right, yeah,
So, yeah, we'll do whatever we can. When Grady gets back first thing in the morning, I'll say you were here. We'll do what we can. Do you have anything, Teresa? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can't, we will talk about it
yeah.
because it's, you know, it's a big ask, 25
Yes.
years. So, I mean.
Like, I know it's a lot of money, 25 years, $7,500 a year, but think of the investments
Yeah.
that's gonna spin off of
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
I mean,
But,
housing, that
yeah.
was on our list too, and I think that's going to help in that
Yeah.
area. And I truly think you're going to pull people from other communities
Yes,
when this daycare goes
yes,
up.
we've had messages like crazy from all over the place.
Yeah.
Now, it is our intention, we don't have our priority list done yet, but our intention will be that people that live in or work in the town or the RM will have priority.
That's why I said, you know,
Yeah.
ask the RM because there's gonna be a lot from the RM that are gonna be
Yeah.
using.
Especially when it does to do with the fencing or, you know, these things, you know, that go with it. You
Mhm.
know, like it's no different than when I talked about at the AMM,
Yeah.
about the the medical first response. If you're downloading them, and where's our original operating grant to get us going, right? So.
Yeah.
I think it's the same when it comes to this, because like I said, it's part of our strategic plan with, is you can't have housing without daycare, and you can't have,
Yeah,
you know, more workers or stores without, you know, childcare or whatever, right? And one comes with another, and
yeah,
you gotta invest in one to get another.
Right.
And, you know, that's the kind of the way I look at it, and I told you guys that already,
Yeah.
and I'd say that at this meeting.
the hope would be that the houses that would be built would increase the tax
Well, I think
revenue would offset.
a lot of houses are moving now. We sold the one on Fanny Street that sat there for years, and it's a military couple coming from Alberta. I think the military are moving around now, so.
Yes,
And they boosted their.
Yeah,
their-
I see a lot of sold signs around town now, so.
There's 5 houses on the market.
yeah, there's nothing.
I know, I've been looking.
This military family, like they moved right now,
Yeah,
and it's like, wow, you know, but anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also like, just as a question, like, are you checking around like other grants, like community foundation, all that? Okay, yeah,
Yes,
just make
yeah.
sure.
yeah, and we're going to actually probably go to different businesses to say, would you sponsor our kitchen? And they'll
Yeah.
name our kitchen, Myers Meats Kitchen, or whatever it's, right? Because the grant doesn't cover kitchen equipment.
And there's a lot of grants that come in from time to time that will, this is not one of them, I'm just using this as an example. Every once in a while, an active living grant will come in or something to
Yes.
that nature.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
keep your eyes open. We'll keep our eyes open if something comes across our desks or whatever.
Yeah.
We feel it might be beneficial. But yeah, definitely we'll work with you. So yeah, we will, if I can speak for everybody, we will commit to having something to you by the end of June.
Okay.
And we'll work with you, whatever you
Okay.
need.
So then a question I would have is, when is the next joint meeting?
Next week, isn't it?
Next week, Monday.
Last Friday's a month?
I think.
No, joint meeting's on the Monday.
Oh, Monday, sorry,
Monday.
It's the
Monday.
last Monday.
Yeah,
The fourth Monday.
4th Monday.
Okay.
Cause I got that mixed up and tried to come a week early.
Here's a new counselor telling us.
So is that next week or the week after?
It should be the 24th.
The 24th. And then how do we get on as a delegation there?
Well, as soon as Grady gets back or Teresa makes a note of it, we'll get you on the delegation.
Okay.
And it's usually, I don't know who's chairing it, if it's a town, if I chair it, it's in here, and if they chaired
They
it, then.
cleared last time.
Did they?
It'll be here.
Okay, so they'll be here.
24/7?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get you on the delegation and show up and we'll see if we can start making things happen.
Perfect. Thank you very
And
much.
thank you for everything you're doing.
Yeah,
You guys are doing a great job, by the way,
Thank you.
Mhm.
so keep it
I
up.
just picked up my rain barrels today.
What's that all about, rain barrels? Where do
We
you?
are selling them for the daycare.
But you have to go take our signs down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I kept seeing that, but something wasn't clicking. I didn't know what that was all about.
Yep.
So,
When did they expect them to go?
The daycare?
Yeah.
So if we can get our grant approved, probably by the end of July-ish, they can start to take the basement this fall.
Mm,
Now, Cooperators First tells us we could probably be open by December, end of December, which we don't believe.
Yeah.
So we're saying spring. Spring, yeah. I mean, if we could do December, that would be probably mind blowing, but.
That's, you guys have come a long way over time. Yeah,
Like that's why I keep the ball rolling on it.
Yeah,
You guys should give lessons on how to get stuff done,
you
so.
know what, it's Cooperatives First that really, like, we have a steering committee of the three of us plus Jason, and we meet with Cooperatives First typically every Tuesday, but she wanted to find out what happened tonight, so we're gonna get tomorrow instead.
Back when they were putting a daycare, when we talked about it before, which it ended up being the one that's attached to the school now. God, it just seemed to be forever for that. It just went around and around, and you guys are just rocking it.
Yeah,
mhm.
Good for you.
We've got really good support through Cooperators First. That's their mandate, is to help us get going.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of expertise and connections, and so,
yeah,
yeah,
there's no spinning.
yeah, no.
That's good.
Well,
Yeah.
keep up the good work. It's
Yes.
very much appreciated.
We're open next spring, that's 2 years
Yeah.
from our committee forming.
Yes.
Rest of yours. Okay, good. Anything else by anybody or? No?
Did you guys, sorry, did you guys get your answer on the park? Did you?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we are doing enrollment
Good.
memberships on Saturday.
Well, thanks for coming out and don't be
Thank you, guys.
strangers.
So, maybe we'll just say that, John, we'll say it because they're on live, this, because of camera, mention that. That day you guys are taking the intake there at the CP Park on Saturday,
Between 8 and 10.
8 and 10, John. Okay. Enrollment,
Wait list.
wait list for the new, tater tots,
90 days.
tiny taters,
I need to.
cooperative daycare,
Childcare cooperative, yeah.
childcare co-op, whatever they said. It's on Saturday,
Mhm.
be there or be square.
Yes, yes.
All right.
CP Park,
CP Park.
yes. Rain or shine. It will be.
Drop a little plug, just drop a little plug in here.
All right, thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. See ya. I'm gonna read this,
That's the number for the taxes for 25 years. $187,000.
So that's,
That's a drop, that's a
when you
drop in
look
the
at the
water.
whole thing though, I believe it is. It's a good investment in, and I think we need to start doing things like that.
I think that in and of itself would fill up the well subdivision pretty quick.
Yeah. You know, it's just gonna,
We donate $1,000 a year to the golf club for how many years now?
Yeah,
At least 25 of them.
mhm.
I think it's a really good.
So
I'll just say from where they are off the highway, the only thing they'll be tapping into is sewer.
Yeah.
So like really, like you think about it, well, then even then they're gonna have to have a bin, right? So like the bins, they put the bins behind the fucking community hall. And so we can't say garbage, like really the only thing, they don't have a road they got plowed or nothing, right? So
So I think it'll be a going concern once it's built. These ones we've seen in, like Oak Lake, I think it was, they were really nice looking
Nice.
buildings.
yeah, and I seen the drawings for this one.
Yeah,
And they have one in Russell and another one in, Saint something, just, east of Winnipeg,
same time.
Saint Anne,
Yeah.
beautiful. Like when you come into town, like, it's
Mhm.
nice.
so it'll be a welcome addition.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm gonna read this resolution number 137-25. Be it resolved that council receive the delegation moved by,
Mike,
seconded by.
Bill,
All those in favor? Opposed, carried. Thank you. We have number 7, finance and accounts. We have the ACAO report. I'm assuming everybody seen that.
Mhm.
I will read this resolution, number 138-25. Be it resolved, the council accept the ACAO report as presented. Moved by,
Sam.
seconded by.
Debbie.
Debbie, any questions, comments?
please take turns.
All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Where are we here? We have resolution number 139-25. Be it resolved that the financial statement for May 2025 be received by council. Moved by,
Debbie,
Debbie, seconded by Mike. Has everybody had a chance to look that over? Are there any questions or comments or concerns? Seeing none, I will call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Thank you. We have resolution number 140-25. Be it resolved that the accounts check number 16015 to check number 16100 totaling $331,171.31. Electronic payments of $60,820.86 and direct withdrawals of $24,561.38 be approved for payment. Moved by.
Right.
I usually do this one.
Moved by Bill and seconded by Mike.
Okay,
Bill
that's
went over all the checks and invoices. Anything's pop out? So, any questions by anybody?
Mhm.
Get all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. We have bylaws. We have resolution number 141-25. Be it resolved that the bylaw 12/2025 being a bylaw to amend the town of Carberry traffic bylaw hereby be read a first time. Moved by,
Debbie,
seconded by.
Sam,
It's first reading, but does everybody seen the draft? Everything that was highlighted in yellow, that's to address the concerns we brought up.
I did have one concern. I wrote it down and I left my piece of paper at home. Yeah, I remember. what it was.
Another 2 readings.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I have a concern about the parking across from my street. It says do not park between signs. There's 2 signs and then the stop sign. So people are parking between the signs because they figure they're not supposed to park between the sign and the stop sign. So I'm just wondering if at some point we could get a yellow line painted just on the pavement there by the stop. So just,
I do have one thing. We need a line painted in front of the hall to divide the walkway from people are parking right on there.
oh yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna bring that up later
It
on.
needs to be painted.
Yes, somebody had it bring up later on.
There was 3 vehicles on there the other day on Saturday.
Yeah.
That was one thing. There was something else I can't remember what it was.
I got a few things on things I gotta get fixed that aren't fixed and other things are being done, so we'll bring that up later.
You got them 2 things?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Trailers on boulevards, that's what it was.
So I will call the question. All those in favor for first reading? Opposed, that is carried. Thank you.
Oh,
oh,
you got stuck, your button got stuck.
We have unfinished business. We have culvert installation policy. We have resolution number 142-25. Be it resolved that council adopt policy TS 02-2025, the culvert policy as presented. Moved by,
Mike,
seconded by
Sam,
Sam. Is there any questions about that? We've all read the culvert policy and who pays for what
Yeah.
and how it all works.
Not really clear. If it's on town property, why is the town not paying for it?
I think they pay for the culvert and the town provides the labor and the gravel
Yeah.
to put it in.
Mhm.
because it depends on like the length, right? Like if you have a 3-car
Yeah.
driveway or one, like, you know what I mean? So like, just because it wasn't there, like it's on our, but we make sure it's put in
But
properly.
if, say a single driveway. If it's in need of a culvert and it's on town property at the street here, but why is the homeowner has 30 feet from their house to the property line? I guess that's a question I have about it. I realize that if you extend your driveway to allow 3-car parking, okay, somebody's gotta pay for it.
Mhm.
But a single,
I think it's not
that was the question.
too much to ask for the homeowner to pay for the culvert and we do the installation and provide the gravel. It's kind of like 2 ways.
It'd be no different than the hydro being installed on your property, the hydro line being brought in either, right?
Well,
You
here-
still pay your hydro bill, but you pay for the hydro to be installed. Right? So,
Okay,
Mhm.
cause it was never there, right? So if you subdivide, right? So let's say I had a lot, so a lot like, the wall subdivision. Got a lot, we said, okay, these are your lots, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Then you subdivide them. So Now you've subdivided, now you got two homes where there would have been one home, now we're paying for two culverts to be put in. Right, so it's just like the way I look at it, it's like hydro coming in, like I got a lot, I pay hydro to give me my service. Right, so then they come and they put the pole in and everything else, and you have to pay for that installation of that
But
service.
they have an easement on your property too.
Yeah. I don't know, I always think if you build the home and put it, that should be part of it.
But any subdivision nowadays has to have a drainage plan too, which the well subdivision does.
So if you want to change the drainage plan by putting in the culvert, you pay.
What do you wanna do? You wanna table it, or you just wanna call the question and see how it flies?
I don't know, it's just a question that came to my mind when I was looking through that.
Well, do you want to table it until Grady's here in case he has some more information for us?
I'm good with the policy the way it reads,
Yeah.
but that's just me, so.
Well, there's still the second reading anyway, so.
Oh, yeah.
Just
No, it's a
one-
policy, so there's no,
Mhm.
Oh, that's
there's
false.
no bylaw. It was only this reading and that's it.
Cause we kind of, like, that drainage plan was where, like John said, it was already made and paid for and done, so you're kind of changing it. Cause there's some people that throw in a driveway without putting a culvert in at all, but they shouldn't, right?
Okay, fine, that's just a question I had.
So I'll call the question.
Go for it.
All those in favor? Opposed? That's
There we
carried.
go.
Thanks, Bill. We have B, unfinished business, 1 and 5 intersection.
Oh, yeah.
So the next meeting with council is June 17th at 10. So I encourage us all to be here or Zoom. It's a big one.
I cannot.
Okay,
I have training that day.
yeah,
It starts at 10 o'clock.
okay. Well, for all those that can, this is the biggie. We are a stakeholder and this is a stakeholders meeting. I think this probably will be the last meeting. So.
I
this
think
is a
that's what he
chance.
said the last time.
Yeah, I'll try to sneak off there at the Burnside up by the airport,
Yeah.
like if it's only gonna be an hour or something, I could sneak off, take my
Yeah.
break then, so.
Okay, and the next public consultation is June 25th at 6 at the Carberry Collegiate. That is next week, right?
No,
Or
So
Wednesday?
25th is, 2
25th.
weeks,
2
yeah.
weeks, okay. Got it.
the 17th,
Right after Brad.
Next week, the 17th is next week, it's
that's next
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, that's for the
Tuesday.
council meeting. For us, stakeholder.
Yeah, but we also have a planning, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
Well, I think we should, this is an important one.
Yeah,
So I think maybe we should reschedule the planning meeting.
okay.
I don't think there's anything earth shattering in the planning meeting, so. I can call Bev tomorrow and say, members of Carberry should be at this one.
And that's a week to move that one anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else on this intersection? Cause I had something. Sure. It's okay. Okay, yeah. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this 1 and 5 intersection. So we all know that there was a protest out there, week or two ago or whatever it was. First off, I've had several members call me, text me, message me, wanting me as the mayor of Carberry to go out. I should be out there. I've had people say, what are you doing? You should be out there. I had one person phone me. She was just about in tears saying that my absence was being noticed very much. I just want to say, it's not my protest. I didn't organize the protest. I didn't participate. I've gone through all the proper channels to show up at these meetings we just talked about, the stakeholder meetings and all the public meetings that you're supposed to go to. A lot of these people that contacted me were people from the rural municipality of North Cypress Langford. And if they're out there watching this at some time, I implore you to call your ward councillor. It's not that I won't talk about things or I won't show up, but don't call the mayor of Carberry when you're a rural person. Phone your ward councillor. I've said that to a few of these people. And I'm going through the proper channels. I'm attending the public meetings. I don't know if it was my place as mayor to go to a protest I didn't organize and start waving a sign. Kind of dicey. We take care of these issues at these council meetings virtually with the consultants and the government. That's what we do. And then the next public consultation on June 25th, I will be there. So that's what I do. So I just wanted to let people know, you know, just because you start a protest doesn't mean the mayor has to be standing there front and center. So I just wanted to say that. A couple of these messages I got weren't the nicest, so that's where that's at. And further to that, I called Donovan Taves, the chief consultant over all this, because this protest was quite a big deal, as we've all seen probably on social media. There were a lot of people there waving signs, protesting, and they all have valid points. I'm not going to lie. But I called Donovan Taves to ask him if he would consider having a public consultation, which he's doing now on June 25th, apparently, instead of having people out in the highway, and we didn't know what was going to happen. Some of these protests can turn kind of, they can go sideways in a hurry. And he said to me, he says he thinks this protest needed to happen. Emotions were running high with people. They needed to get that out. He was at the Minister of Manitoba Transportation and Infrastructure's office earlier in the day. And he said the minister is aware. And he also said the minister contacted the RCMP for traffic control. I don't know if they're out there. And he also contacted the Highways Department portion of MTI just to let them know in case there needed to be any speed reductions, any monitoring, whatever. So I called him first just to, I guess, let people know or us know that I was on and I wasn't taking this whole protest lying down. I wanted to make sure that we were covering myself anyways, mayor. The other thing I've done is I've never been on an R-cut in my life. I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm not saying I'm for it. My take on this is I still think we should have an overpass. I'm just saying that right now. I'm not a designer for intersections. I've never designed a major intersection on the Trans-Canada in my life. So for me to start passing judgment on R-cuts and the rest of it, I have to listen to the consultants. The one thing I did do, and I don't know if any of the protesters, anybody else has done that. There is a town called Dalmeny, Saskatchewan, that's about 26 kilometers northwest of Saskatoon. And that's where the Saskatchewan R-cut is. So I phoned the CAO of Dalmeny, Saskatchewan, population 1,700 and some. His name is Jim Weiniger. I've got his phone number here, but I'm not going to say it out in public. And I asked him, I said, tell me about the R-cut. We're going through this now. I gave him a bit of a brief history of where we're at. They went through the same thing. They went through the consultations, the government, the whole bit. And he says, and I'm just quoting him, he says there was just as much opposition out there then as we're having now. He says once it's built, it becomes a matter of routine. People just get used to it. There are still people protesting that aren't happy, and there will be those people that purposely go down to the next road to use just to. So he said his wife, and this is what he said, his wife was concerned about moving out and then crossing 3 lanes and having a shoulder check. But he says he goes to Saskatoon quite often. It's only 26 kilometers away. And he says, you know how many times I shoulder check going into Saskatoon? Probably a couple of dozen. So he says that's just defensive driving. So he said accidents have reduced. I don't know if that's coincidence or if there's any basis to measure it on, but he said, why don't you call the fire chief? Gave me his number. Guy's name is Tom Moody. I phoned the fire chief. He said the same thing. He said there was nobody more opposed to an R-cut than he was. And he says, actually, now he's used to it. So I'm just saying what they're saying. This Tom Moody was good. He was a good guy to talk to. And he says they've never had a serious incident in the last 2 years it's been built. Now, again, that could be coincidence. I don't know. When it comes down to your safety, you go from 18 critical impact points down to 2. He said it's 4 lane rather, but it can't really compare to the Trans-Canada. They have a high volume of traffic, but it's not the same as the traffic we have.
No.
So this Tom Moody, he said if they had to do it all over again, and in our case where we've got the two, you know, the super Bs, the double
Yeah.
trailers.
Mhm.
He says, make sure if they do go the R-cut and that's the way they're going, make sure at each U-turn that there is a great big amount of space. And he says their U-turns are half a mile each way. He says it's one directional. There's no, you know, perpendicular, there's no fighting, opposing traffic. So he says, as a guy that was probably the chief person that was opposing it, he says he's come to accept it. It just becomes routine. So he says, if anybody wants to call him with any questions, I can give them his name and he'd be more than happy to talk to him. So that's what I did as mayor on behalf of the town of Carberry. I wanted to talk to somebody where there was, I don't know, I mean, the common throughout the states, but I haven't got a clue where you
Well, thank you. Yeah, but so are overpasses.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You can say our cuts are common to the state, our overpasses are more common to the states, right?
I've
So,
never seen their cut in my travels in the
Yeah.
States.
So anyways, when we're talking about this, I'm wondering, like, there was a large outcry. We have to be cognizant of that. There was a lot of people out there. There was a lot of comments on social media. It was the buzz around stores, coffee shops and everything, and it still is. And I'm going to assume that this June 25th meeting, hopefully there'll be a large turnout. A lot of the people that I've seen on these social media, I hadn't seen at any of the public meetings, so I'm imploring everybody, get out there. Put your message out there, be civil about it. But as a town council, do we change our position? Like, do we go back to saying we want an overpass and that's what we want? And take that stand? Because I was in Winnipeg a week ago, last week one day, and they must have, there's overpasses everywhere.
All over the place.
I mean, they're common.
around the
Don't give you the, it's too expensive type thing when they're building overpasses all around the perimeters, you know?
And I just drove the Indian Head, like for my kids' football, like to Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
And every at-grade intersection is slowed down to 80 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Like every single one of them.
That's the one thing this guy, both the CAO and this fire chief says, you gotta slow traffic down too for our.
So when they say like we did cancel the traffic down that Bull Roar, because when they talk, if you can talk about an R-cut in Saskatchewan, why can't you talk about the speed limits as well at every at-grade? So when you go to, any of them.
Yeah.
Any of those major towns along Highway 1, you look at them from Broadview all the way to wherever.
Yeah.
They all have important intersection, they slow down to 80, Mooseman, Broadview, all the way down. Always, so if you can talk about an R-cut about in Saskatchewan, how great this R-cut is in Saskatchewan, we can talk about how great the reduced speed limit is as well. And
Well, that's what they said. They reduced the speed to 80 kilometers an hour. So that's part and parcel. So
They still get T-bones.
do they? Okay. But anyways, at our next public consultation or our next meeting with council, June 17th, give it some thought between now and then. I know if they come back with the R-cut, and again, they seem to think that we or me, the mayor or somebody, we're the ones doing this. This is the provincial government doing this. This is not me. This is not Ray Drayson. This is the provincial government. So we have to go with what their consultants say and what their directive is. But if they're looking to us as stakeholders, maybe June 17th, if that's our final, maybe we should just take a look and step back a bit and say, we still want overpass. And that's where we stand, case closed. I don't know, just throwing it out there.
Ray, when you spoke to both of these people in
Yeah.
Saskatchewan, what kind of community are they? Like, are they in a mining community? Are they in agriculture? What kind, like,
I think they live outside, but they don't have, like, they're close to us, but not, they're 1,750 people. We're around the 1,900. They live
It's great.
26 kilometers northeast of Saskatoon. They're not into potatoes. I'm assuming they are agriculture.
agriculture?
And they have another intersection just further down from this R-cut. I was trying my best to kind of follow along. And he said, "Some people are so, you know, they were so opposed to the
What is it
R-cut, they
again?
purposely go to the next intersection. Delman, DALMENY, Saskatchewan, Delmany, Saskatchewan.
Why I'm asking is that
And
The other day-
before- just,
Sorry.
yeah, you can YouTube, the Delmany Saskatchewan Archive.
Okay.
You want to look at it.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. My concern is our area. Absolutely, just exactly what was part of the protest.
Yeah.
Like we have a specialized area here with our plant being where it is. And of all of the southern people that are in hogs, hauling them to Neepawa.
Yeah.
And Brandon, I guess, if they're coming down the number 5. The other day we were coming home from Winnipeg and there was a potato truck stopped going north on 5.
Yeah.
And that, we just about had another accident. That potato truck crossed right in front of a black double cabbed truck that it was full. 6 people were in it. The guy had to slam on his brakes in order, the truck just didn't even, I don't know whether he didn't see him or what happened. But I really think it needs to either be our overpass or stoplights. When we come home from Steinbach the other night from the gathering that we had up there,
Mhm.
there was a set of lights out in the middle of nowhere. It was a paved road. It wasn't, I guess it was a highway, but it was like our 351 here.
Yeah.
And set of lights, nobody around, no traffic, but a set of lights. So I don't feel that the justification about the government can't afford to put in this or that.
Yeah.
That they're forcing, and I'm gonna use the word forcing very lightly.
Yeah.
Us to have this archive. I really don't think they understand our processes out here and the amount of equipment that actually crosses that highway.
Yeah. I think from my point of view, after listening to everybody from the ARC-Cut, I was willing to give it a listen to, you got to keep an open mind, but then I come at it in one hand, I come at it from the town of Carberry's point of view. Town of Carberry's a stakeholder.
Mm-hmm.
So our point of view is we go out there and we're driving trucks, cars, SUVs. The ones with the great big farm equipment are from the RM. But my other half of this is, it's still a safety thing. And if I'm going out with my SUV and there's a great big piece of farm equipment, is my safety being compromised?
Well,
because
that
of that?
guy on the highway that we saw coming home, his safety was compromised.
And again, I'm looking for, like, the ARC-Cut may work. It may be routine after a while, much like some of these roundabouts are in Brandon and Portage and that, but it's the complication thing. I've said since day one, why complicate things? Like, it's hard to get used to, like trying to teach an old dog new tricks. Some of these senior drivers and even novice drivers and even drivers like me and anybody around the table, it's going out, doing the U-turn, and it's hard to get used to. And we deal enough right now with distractions. Like, I mean, you're not gonna get away from people doing this. I mean, I had people passing me one day not long ago with iPads,
Oh, yeah.
almost as big as this computer screen. And I mean, Lorna just got, yeah,
Yeah.
What's driving?
Oh my God.
There's one person in the car.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like Lorna just got a brand new car and it probably took me about 10 miles to figure out how to use the cruise control. I'm distracted. So I think what we need to do when we think about it is safety from our perspective and we have to help drivers help themselves. And if you can avoid that, I think probably uninterrupted travel, other than like an overpass is interrupted insofar as, the merge lanes that come up. But I think if you can help drivers help themselves, I'm leaning to going back. I mean, I'm willing to listen to June 17th and I plan on asking questions. But I'm still leaning towards that maybe we should just deplore, we want an overpass, period.
Well, there's even the ones like when I drove through to Wisconsin or anything there, the Midwest, they're not giant cloverleafs. Like, it's like you come off the highway, you have to stop, then you turn left.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And then to go onto the highway, you have to turn left. It's not a giant cloverleaf. So to say you need a whole bunch of land to make a giant cloverleaf is irrelevant. You don't need that. You need the same service roads as we, I mean, I'm not an engineer, I'll say the same thing as you.
Yeah.
But I have driven across Canada and I've driven all the way down to California and Texas, and I've been across the world. I've seen roundabouts, so again, like even my point when you say, well, in the States, they're using these arc cuts. I'm like, yeah, but when you drive on the interstate, it's all overpasses,
Yeah,
right? So,
Swimming are cuts.
you know,
Yes.
In Winnipeg, when we were in there, like everywhere you look, there's an overpass, and I'm thinking, you know, these are common.
no, Brandon can get new bridges and, new roads and everything else.
So I'm thinking if this next June 17th, if this is the final stakeholder one, and they want
It is.
Scarberry's final, I think we should all think, I'm not trying to sway what you think, but if we are all overpass, maybe we just need to say Carberry stands at an overpass,
Yeah.
case closed.
Yeah, my,
I'm all
on
for
that.
that.
Yeah.
But I
I'll put
mean,
my hand up for that.
yeah, cause I mean, you have to listen to the people out there. There are a lot of people out there and they're smart people. They're all smart people. You've got, you know, farmers, you've got business people and all that. And if that's, if they're saying it, I think we need to,
And
Kind of
they
step up
live
on
in
this.
DRM, but they do support the town of Carberry
yeah.
a lot,
So
so.
anyways, that's all I wanted to say on the R-cut thing. I think, you know, we're coming to the end of the whole process, so we need to.
Mhm.
So think about that between now and June 17th, and
Yep.
if we're all on the same page, we can just present to Landmark Consulting and whomever, this is where the town stands, period.
Yeah.
We good with that?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Town position, we got that. That's all I had on that. You have anything on that, Teresa, or no?
I do not know.
Okay.
Mhm.
We will go to general business. We have the Town of Carberry Employee Blue Cross refund. We have resolution number 143-25, be it resolved that council approve refunds of Blue Cross premiums to staff as presented. Moved
I'm
by,
gonna abstain.
okay.
I'll
Mike's
make
gonna,
a motion.
moved
I'm
by,
supposed to also then.
what's that?
I'm probably supposed to also then,
Why?
because my dad is one of them. I don't know if that matters.
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We still have,
So,
yeah, we still have the majority. Okay, so moved by Bill, seconded by Debbie. We all know this is an over contribution, so it's just refunding. So all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Thank you. Thanks for recognizing abstentions. B, hire green team. We have resolution number 144-25. Be it resolved that council hire Braden Knox and Rowan Scott as green team employees effective May 5th, 2025 and May 12th, 2025 respectively. Moved by,
Mike,
seconded by. All those in favor? Opposed, carried. Thanks. We have resignation of Randy Parker. We have resolution number 145-25. Be it resolved that council accept the resignation of Randy Parker as transfer station attendant effective May 31st, 2025 with regrets. Moved by,
Bill,
seconded by
Mike,
Mike. Straightforward. Randy was out there. He chose to resign, so all those in favor? Opposed, carried. We're gonna hire transfer station employees. We have resolution number 146-25. Be it resolved that council hire Kelly Gesner and Modar Al Sharbaji as transfer station attendants effective June 2nd, 2025. Moved by,
Debbie.
seconded by
Bill,
Bill. Just saying, Sam, I wonder if you should abstain because that's your
I
uncle.
was to say, I don't know if I'm allowed to be a part of that.
Yeah, well, just if you abstain, that would be,
Okay.
so we're all, Kelly is
Yep.
uncle. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Thank you.
yeah, they're both out there already.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Talked to both of them the other day.
Canada Day Barbecue, looking for volunteers in support of supplies. Anybody want to volunteer? Me and Bill volunteered last
yeah,
year.
I'll go, if I'm here.
I would help if I'm here. I don't know where we're gonna be.
I'll help.
Sam's gonna help.
It's just at the pool, right?
Yeah, it's just good.
Yeah, it's a good time,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty
To
decent.
meet
Yeah, we
people.
did it last year.
Yeah.
Well, I can't give 100% because of the fires, right?
I'll check too. I'm not sure, but if I can, I'll help again. It's not that big of a deal.
Okay.
Okay.
And what about the supplies? Like, do we need
Supplies,
to donate something to this or?
I think last year we went halfers on town and the RM. We supplied the free hot dogs and buns.
Yeah, I'll just let you know, like, we did, like a cleanup day at the fire hall, we brought burgers and hot dogs and stuff. Smokies and buns and whatever, and like, the bill came out to like a couple $100, so.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not very much, so.
Okay,
I think we supplied all the stuff and then it was just free.
So can they,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
cause
It was hot dogs, chips and drinks, wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
cause we have an account there, right? Like at Myers and stuff and,
Yeah.
and then
Mhm.
Spud City,
That's right.
and so like, then they can just give us the list of stuff. And then we can just go and pick it up for them with their account, like with one of them, they could just take it away in their car,
Yeah.
and maybe saves on some. Does that work
Sure,
better than getting a receipt, or is it the same thing?
it's the same thing, yeah, I get.
Oh,
I get
okay.
that later. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure something out before.
Okay.
Okay, anything else on that?
Sorry, just one thing, do we have any, like, can we, part-town Carberry stuff? Moving some of that then for that, well, for handing out hot dogs, like, we got some ball caps or those things we bought, or
I can
bags.
see if Karen's got anything.
Yeah, maybe she can just put something together for that.
About the car.
Yeah, like, if we're gonna hand out hot dogs and stuff, maybe we have some of that, that's something.
Where?
Swag, that's why we bought it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Maybe put up our posters or whatever. Let's get that ready for that. You gonna do that?
I think last year when we were cooking hot dogs, Bill was off cooking a T-bone steak for himself.
I'm gonna get you an apron, Bill. Like one of those, data queue aprons I gotta get from my barbecue.
Okay, I'll move to reports. We have the youth counselor report. That's Mr. Krister. You're on.
Everyone gets around to come without a mention. Okay, so provincial exams, the essential math exam starts tomorrow, and the applied math starts on Tuesday for grade 12s. And high school exams start next week. And those start on Monday and on Thursday. The jazz band will be going into Brandon on the 14th, so this Saturday, to the Air Museum. We'll be performing all of our music from this year that we've done. There's a 7-8 track divisional meeting in Meatpaw. I'm not sure when that's happening. Didn't get a date on that. The grad ceremony is happening on the 24th at 4:30. And the awards day is the day after at 2:15. Barbecue on the same day, June 25th at noon.
That's for, what's the barbecues for what?
That's the grad barbecue.
Oh, okay, gotcha, yeah.
And then we already said that the youth and philanthropy barbecue is tomorrow, starts at around 11-ish.
Yeah.
And goes on till 1.
Okay,
And that's it for the school season. Then the office will reopen on August 18th, and then next classes will resume on September 30th.
I'm just marking something down here while I'm thinking about it. Good. All right, that's it?
Yeah, so
What grade are you, you're in 11?
11, yeah.
You're with us for another year anyway then.
Yep,
Good.
great.
band concert was excellent, by the way.
Mhm.
thanks.
What do you play?
I play the flute in concert band and then the baritone sax in jazz band.
Good for
It
you.
was very good,
It was good.
great performance.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, all right, we'll move on to CAO report. I think we read that. Grady put something together.
Mhm.
Okay. Economic development report, we've read that. Any questions on that? No. Public works report, I was with Scott today and we've read his report. I went with him for a drive out to the lagoon last week. Water was getting high out there, but they've got the irrigation going now, so hopefully everything's. Committee reports, protective services. Who's on protective services?
I am.
Are you?
There
Anything?
hasn't been a meeting.
Well, there's, the breakfast next weekend.
Yeah.
The fire
Oh,
department.
yes, that's department, that's
This
right.
weekend is. Mm-hmm.
Or this weekend, yes, Saturday 7 to 12, right?
Saturday?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You better be there.
No, fire department has also sent, altogether 6 members up north to Flin Flon. There's 2 up there right now. plus an apparatus, and it's still up there, and that apparatus has been really. People have been impressed with our crew and then with our equipment. Just to say, I just got a message from one of them today about that. I'm not speaking for the chief, but this is Ron Protective Services. So those, just let the community know, those guys leave their work and their families for whatever wage, they're getting at our rural fire department for up to 12 or more hours a day. Running on 3 hours of sleep, protecting other communities with the training and equipment that's been provided by the both municipality, town and the RM. And it's pretty much, they're not doing it for money, clearly, they're doing it because they care. So kudos out to those guys and all that go up. So depends even next week, if more people vote, because obviously they got to volunteer to go up, but that's what they're doing. So kudos to them.
Okay.
So anybody coming out on Saturday, come by for breakfast and come meet your fire department. We're also giving a tour on Thursday, Friday to the kindergarten class, which I'll be doing that and doing a fire life safety thing with them. So
Public Works. Public Works.
Nothing much, I don't think. Those streets got paved, and I've had some pretty good comments on that.
Yeah.
The job
Mhm.
was well done.
yeah,
Yeah, and quick, right?
I got questions. What's up with the sidewalks and what's up with the signs, street signs?
The street signs, I'm not sure what's happening. Sidewalks,
Because the road was being done by another company, not by Public Works, so there's lots of work that we wanted done here in the spring. I don't
sidewalks
see
are
being done.
contracted out, and I'm not.
Well,
sure.
Cody Campbell's doing one on my street.
Yeah, but the corners, they were supposed to do all the corners where it stopped. Right? We talked about that. And we made it clear like this winter, that this spring, that they start working on those corners that just stop and go into the grass. So people all in chairs and everything else can continue walking down the sidewalks.
Okay,
I'm not seeing any work being done.
yeah, we'll check into them.
Have you got that down, Teresa? Okay, thank you. Okay, what's next? We have reactions in Public Works, buildings, anything on buildings?
The library's supposed to get restuccoed.
Yeah.
I don't know, did we get the tender back yet? Any,
Yeah, they said
Stucco?
it was awarded,
Yeah.
it was just awarded, wasn't it?
but
There was a
there's
lot
no
of stuff
date.
getting done.
Yeah,
Like
oh,
the
yeah,
Kelly's report, holy man.
Yeah.
She is keeping things moving,
Yeah, no, it's good.
like,
I don't know if I have anything on buildings or not, just the same old stuff, just general maintenance and repair. So there's still, I walked by that ramp and steps going up to the library. I wish we somehow would come to a conclusion on that as to
I
what we're
think
gonna
they
do.
do too.
So,
well,
It's a topic of discussion at every one of the meetings as
Yeah.
to where we're going with that.
now that I'm talking to Prairie Mountain Health about other things, I'm going to ask if I can take a picture of the ramp at the nurse's residence.
Mhm.
I think
That
that
is a
ramp,
nice ramp.
I think that ramp, we should just put out a tender for that ramp
And
and just give parameters of what we want.
Yeah,
And then see who comes up with what. Like what kind of design they come up with, and we pick that best. I think that's the best way to do it, instead of us just trying to come up with an idea
Yeah.
ourselves and try to. I think we should just go with a tender for a ramp that has to be this, like with the dimensions as per the code. And then we just put out a tender for that.
Yeah.
That'd be I think that's my opinion, that'd be the best way, and we talked about that, right, about doing that sort of stuff, right, so.
we can bring that up at the next buildings meeting and say, let's just get going on it.
Let's just throw a tender out and, you know, let's just get some quotes on different, because who knows what they come up with for a ramp for that.
Yeah.
That's
Like, you know,
No,
Well,
the
library.
I'm still talking.
Yeah.
library, yeah, the steps, the front steps and the ramp.
Yeah.
So if we can get that stucco, which has been awarded,
Mhm.
and get something going on them front steps and ramp, that would be a big deal.
yeah, 'cause like I said, who knows what comes up with what, whether it's wood or concrete or who knows, right, like, just.
Waste management. Well, we can see on waste management, we lost a person, we gained 2 people, and I think it's All systems normal, isn't it?
Yeah, Evergreen, I gotta go on Monday again. The guy that was looking at the gas fire is supposed to be out again. I don't think that's gonna go anywhere, but
Archives. Anything in archives?
There was a report sent in, and there's a meeting tomorrow, but I won't be able to attend and let them know.
Okay. Art Council? Anything on Arts Council? Haven't heard anything.
I was my first meeting with them 2 weeks ago, I think it was.
Mhm.
There's a lot of opinions. There's a lot of people around the table, but it was good. Like they had good discussion and
Mhm.
kind of seeing how things are going.
Yeah.
Because it's changing kind of the idea of.
We can talk a bit about that in camera too, because there's a bit of a possible plan going forward. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, so if we can talk about that.
Well, I got something for you, your arts thing. Fire department moved the piano by hand,
Oh, you did move it?
yeah, all the way downstairs, so
Did you drop?
almost.
I didn't hear. If
I
that
got
was-
pictures. I got pictures. He's a heavy piano, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So they better say thank you to the 6 people that came out.
That is appreciated.
I came right back from, where did I come back from? The Paw, maybe? I came right back from the Paw or Thompson. Callie's like, get over there and move that piano. That was my first task as the captain on the fire
That's
department.
awesome, because that piano was free, I'm pretty sure.
He was, yeah.
So.
wow.
So it's in the old town hall basement. It's there. They have a piano. It's not good. That, well, if it comes out, the fire department's moving again, we're moving it with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Their next meeting is Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cemetery. I think it's been fairly quiet at the cemetery.
Windmills up,
Yeah,
just
spinning.
spinning the way, and I think things are going okay there.
Can I just make a comment?
Yes, you
please?
can.
For 2 years in a row, I have requested that the graves be filled in before flowers are planted.
Yeah.
And that's still not happening. You go out there and there's the ground level, the grave, and ground level. And they plant the flowers in the hole. It's fine after the flowers grow and get out of there, but when they're planting them, the grave should be at least at ground level, if not just a little
Yeah.
bit above. And
Yeah.
I don't understand when we have a front end loader and we have
There is a
people there's a pile of dirt, because I went over and got some dirt and put it on my loved one's grave, because planting flowers underneath, if we get a heavy rain, the flowers are all gone anyway, and people pay for the perpetual care. So I think we need to it's too late now, but next year, those graves definitely need to be filled in. The other thing is, just asking a question as to who, is it families that are responsible for straightening headstones? Or is it our staff?
Our staff straightens so many
They
a year.
do so
Okay.
many a year.
I didn't know.
They're trying to play catch up on it, and there's a lot of them old ones that
Oh, yeah, they're scary.
you gotta watch.
Yeah.
But they try to get so many per year,
Okay,
whenever they can, because, you know, it's.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it takes time. They're heavy,
And
some of
that,
those big
and
ones.
cleaning too. I thought you were doing some cleaning, weren't you?
Have been, yeah.
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 So, yeah, just little by little, it's
Yeah.
a monumental task, but yeah, they are
Okay.
doing them.
That's great, thanks.
What do you guys use to clean that, Sam?
I have like a scrubber and we basically just use water. There is a chemical that we can use.
Would a steamer work? Like, would like our hot sea work on that? Just curious.
Pressure washer.
The pressure washer, you have to be careful because it can take off the,
Oh, the
Where-
finish on it?
yeah.
Yeah, cause like the hot sea does like hot water. I didn't know if that's a,
Portable unit, I think it's gas fired, isn't
yeah. Just curious, like we have that piece of equipment here.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, like would that be something that helps us to just, you know, I'm wondering.
I've just been watching ones like people request them. and
Right, okay.
I think
it? So.
doing it as like a little,
Cause I've seen them in Toronto do that with
Yeah.
the hot steamer. They just spray them up, but they're older ones, so they don't have
I'd
that
be worried about
finish on it.
paint and the finish.
Right, okay.
but-
So just like we're on being streamed here, so is that something that you will do or no?
Yeah, I've just been doing it like as families have asked me to do it.
So if a family calls you, you would consider doing it?
Yeah,
I'm just saying, you know, cause the more they get
Yeah.
paid, the better, so.
Yeah.
yeah. And
Sam Van Dam,
Yep.
we've been doing $75 for a headstone.
Oh, that's not bad, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Some of the
Nice.
really dirty ones at the beginning were a little bit more, but.
Right.
okay, good to know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Thanks,
thank you.
Sam.
That's reasonable.
Museum, anything on museum?
Yeah, they're looking at the possibility, looking at quotes for those, remember that the implement kind of shed, like for the,
Yeah.
they're looking at that and they're looking at what they're talking to planning and they're doing all that sort of stuff for that there. They've hired some people and their wages for the museum. And, yeah, they're just motoring on, yeah. So I was in there today to take a look. I donated my old Afghanistan uniform to them, so it's seen in there.
Oh,
But then I took a little quick look and, yeah, I'm gonna go for a little tour of the museum, once it's open, or when it's open.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, but I've been there for a long time either.
yeah.
I think, Ian's gonna donate his flight suit and his helmet from when he was a door gunner in Afghanistan, you know?
Oh, wow.
Well, not don't give it, but like loan it for that
Mhm.
exhibit, so, yeah, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, and they're, again, dedicated group of volunteers, so.
Mhm.
Yep, Andy Van Seniors, anything on that?
A handy van sold.
Okay.
Good.
And what else? The dishwashers in use. Interior painting, I think, is all done now. What else? I think that's about it. I know Ruben was working at the paint on the outside. Of the building.
The paint is in what state?
Inside was done, I believe, it's all finished.
Okay.
Dishwashers up and running, or a new used one, or,
Mhm.
Refurbished.
and the big handy van was sold. We have a meeting coming up next week on Tuesday at 3, I believe.
All right, good, thanks, Bill. Library, anything on the library? We read the regional library report that was in our package, so straightforward.
Yep.
Okay. Health action, feeling anything on health action?
Looking at fundraising efforts right now, different things we could do to raise money. We had the young first year doctors to be here, and that went over quite well. Tara kept them busy and we all
Yeah.
had dinner together with them one night. They were quite personable young people. What else have we got? Oh, we got the go ahead with making the doctor's office bigger,
Oh, the wall.
removing the wall. That
Great.
is a monumental task to get this through, but it's gonna happen. And they've even offered if the cost doesn't exceed what we've allotted for it, then we will get the difference back.
Okay.
And we have to sign a legal document to get this done, that we are going to give them the money. So I corrected some of their legalese today for them.
Okay.
Things are chugging right along. Good, right, Bill?
Yeah, I think so.
Planning, we've got a planning meeting next week, so
On Tuesday, which I think.
yeah, we'll have to reschedule that because I wanna be at this
Yeah.
instead.
I didn't know when this was gonna be at the time.
Okay, I'll go see Bev tomorrow morning about that.
I gotta do that too, because I gotta sign some
Okay,
checks.
all right. Rec board. I think we read in Kelly's report what's going on with the rec center. All the chairs are out and they're out at the dump. We had a thing in there on last Saturday at our junior rifle club, which it went very well. It was packed house, very, very well attended, good setup, but the ceiling fans in the curling rink ice side need to be fixed, so I talked to Callie about it just because I haven't been here, so. And, yeah, she's been working like doing the floors in epoxy and the drains, I guess she's checking them and getting everything straightened up, so.
That thing is up around the pool, apparently, the pigeon netting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I seen they were filling the pool the other day.
Mhm.
It's full right now, yeah.
Is it?
And I think they were scrubbing or cleaning the concrete or something today.
Yeah.
I think the,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so.
It's coming along, yeah.
Good.
Everything's
Get
moving.
things done. White mud, anything on white mud?
Haven't had another meeting.
Daycare, I think we all found out about daycare tonight earlier on.
Yeah, nothing's different than what you heard tonight, so.
Drop in, I haven't been at a drop-in meeting for I don't know how long because I don't get the text, but I just haven't been. I don't think there's anything new to report.
I haven't gotten anything.
Splash Park, I think they had that, supper on Saturday night and that Hicktown on Saturday night, from what I'm led to believe, but mine wasn't good.
Think so.
Lorna went and helped out with Melanie with the supper. And I thought she said 250 people,
Oh, good.
I think, somewhere thereabouts, so
Mm-hmm.
good for them.
Yes, they work hard at that stuff.
Yeah,
Well, they're like the daycare.
Yeah.
Just to go on.
White House was full. It still continues to be full. 2 of the 4 doctors stayed there for the entire week. We've got good reviews from them for that. I was gonna bring up the White House in my around the table, so I'll wait and do that. But yeah, just further to the White House, it is getting used. Grass is getting cut. Former owner Matt was out there cutting it today, so when he's cutting his grass, he just slips over and does it.
Oh, that's good. That's nice.
He's got a bunch of stuff, still stored in the garage. And he was hoping it wouldn't be a big deal, so I think it's kind of a trade-off, so.
Oh, okay.
Deputy Mayor Kalanowicz Western Caucus and AMM, that would be a you thing.
There's a report. that
Yeah.
is with your package.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I read that.
That's good.
That was
Both
from-
of them last month, but it got missed, so.
Yeah, okay. And I was gonna bring both the caucus around the table, but, so there's no more reports, I don't believe, is there? I'm gonna read this resolution number 147-25, be it resolved that all reports be received by council as provided or presented, moved by,
Mike,
seconded by,
Sam,
all those in favor. Opposed, that is carried.
No problem.
So we'll move down to communications. We got the quarterly report from the RCMP. Everybody, I'm assuming, read that. Are there any questions, comments? Hearing none, okay. We got the CPAA info letter. I read it and I forgot what CPAA stands for. What's that?
Canada
Post
Post, yes. They want the support because of impending strike and online, so
I thought this, the post.
postmasters and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Closure of rural.
Yeah, I think that that's something that we need to really think about, because if we ever lost the post office in Carver, it would be a big deal.
Yeah, it would be.
terrible.
So I could reach out to this woman that sent and ask her, like, if she needs a letter of support from us, or just to send it out there.
That'd be a good idea.
yeah, but we're like, again, I'm just gonna be devil's advocate, that they're unionized employees. So like, where do we, like, as a council, like, where do we step in between employees and their employers?
So it's not the employees and the employers, it's the impending closure of the post office.
Yeah.
Just of the letter. We don't want to lose our post office.
So, right, so it's not on the strike?
No, it's not on the strike. It's on the closures
That's
of.
just a possibility. They've gone from, I don't know how many thousand down, a couple thousand, and they may even be more. And they
Yeah.
talk about privatization and moving postal stuff of the rural, like, countries, and I just,
Well, cause even now, like I just say, like with Amazon, right, like, if I put my home address, my PO box, all 3-4 weeks, I'll get my Amazon. If I put my normal address, it comes in 3 or 4 days,
Mhm.
cause they have, like, the Amazon has got a new company.
But sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, cause
Oh,
I
yeah.
put my house address and it went to the post office.
Yeah. 'Cause
Sometimes they can't find your address.
I've just noticed a lot now, like, if I put, like, they'll switch the date from like 2 or 3 weeks to like, it'll be here Sunday.
Mhm.
And then some guys dropping it off on my door on Sunday, so like, these big companies now are pretty much like homing down on, like, providers, and they're getting contracts now that they will provide service now, so it's kind of cutting out the post office because of that strike.
so. Yeah, I don't think this letter had anything to do with support or non-support of unions. It was just post office closures, and I can tell you, I think we would all agree at Christmas time when nobody gets their Amazon packages, holy moly.
Well, and I think it's a gathering spot too, for socialization.
Yeah, but that's
Right.
where you, that's where you
I'm
get
gonna go down and get
all
the
your,
mail.
all your stuff, like,
Yeah.
you know, like anything bigger than your actual. Like, cause there are communities with those small postal boxes where they just drop stuff off, but anything not bigger than a letter, you don't get, you have to drive all the way to the next post office to get it.
So every time you get a parcel, you have to. look at it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well, in the case of, I mean, you Sydney store as an example. They had a little postal outlet in the Sydney store, which a lot of small communities do, maybe Clan William, ones like that, and it's just because they're so small. But I don't think they can handle the amount of stuff that we as a community have in the post office. But the way they shut down stuff like, the way they shut down stuff like, for instance, our Bank of Montreal, we don't wanna see our post office closed. So yeah, I can, reach out to her and, if she needs a letter of support from us or whatever, I'll get one. And what else? RF Now proposed route. I think we've seen that. That was just they want to run some stuff into the vet clinic.
Yeah.
And what they're gonna run, so it's fairly straightforward. Westman Regional Library minutes, we read that, nothing earth shattering. Operating grant for our, municipal. Municipal. Anyways, we got our operating grant.
Mhm.
Was it 251,000 for one, and then the other one was 16,000, so that's always welcome.
Mm.
And CFB Shiloh, retirement, I will, send a letter of, appreciation and thanks and happy retirement on behalf of us on
yeah,
our letterhead, if that's okay with everyone.
You bet.
Okay. Other than that, I'll read the resolution number 148-25, be it resolved that all correspondence be received by council, moved by,
Bill,
seconded by.
like,
All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. We are at the around the table portion. I will start. Mike, you wanna go first?
sure.
Okay,
Just on the, all the evacuees and stuff, I know that there's, some evacuees living in town, Flin Flon area, we welcome you with open arms, and if there's anything you need, feel free to reach out. As well, again, the fireman's breakfast, my little plug there on Saturday, 7 to 12, we deliver. And, there's one more thing I should have wrote down, but forget, so, yeah, that's good.
David?
Are we, or have we heard anything on what's going on with the old bank? Are we gonna have it stand like this for? I just come back to the concerns I had from the other gentleman that sent in the email. We discussed it a couple of meetings ago about the look of the properties, right? And that is right on Main Street.
Yeah.
I know we have a buyer that purchased that lot, but I mean,
He's been
something.
Old bank you talked.
Old
Okay, I thought you
bank.
talked.
No, the old bank.
Yeah.
Is there something progressing there?
Parents have been in and started cleaning the site up.
Okay,
I actually talked to him about it too when I spoke about the windmills. So
Okay.
he just wanted to do stuff with it.
yeah, that's great.
Okay.
That's great. I don't think anything else.
Okay. Sam, you got anything?
The only thing was that email that I sent to everybody, the Youth and Philanthropy are gonna donate their proceeds to the rec fund.
Yeah,
I was really excited.
yeah.
And like their ideas are pretty good too. It'll be nice.
Yeah.
For the outdoor rink and the volleyball, but like the inflatable movie screen would be really.
Mhm. Mhm.
No, very
Thank you
good
to
to
them.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kudos to them. They do a good job.
They're donating to the rec board
To the rec
for,
board.
yeah.
So yeah, again, like if anybody can show up tomorrow for the fundraising barbecue, I plan on being there, so.
Yeah.
What else you got, Sam?
That's it, I think.
Bill?
street paving was great.
Yeah.
Very nice. I see, some people are trimming up their trees, like around the hospital, for example, they've trimmed all the trees. Things are looking a little bit tighter. There's some trailers gone off boulevards now finally, and I hope they don't come back. Cause there is it's in the bylaw that 2 weeks or something like that. And trailers parked in the street, same thing. And I think I brought up about the parking by the hall on the walking path.
Yeah.
Also, this strip down Fourth Avenue where they painted it last year, you can't even barely see that white line anymore. And the other question I have, did it look like it was paved but across the tracks by the fairgrounds? I could have sworn that.
I don't know.
It's just got calcium on it now.
That's what?
All the dust control.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Just makes it look like it's paved from this.
Okay. The other thing I did notice on one of my travels to the cemetery is there's only maybe 10 places that if they were filled, it would keep the rest of that pavement from breaking up.
I think that's on the RM side of it though.
It is on the RM side, but I think it's something we should bring up at the joint meeting.
Mhm.
Like, it wouldn't take much to fix that.
We had brought that up at a joint meeting one time. While the pavers were in town, do we as a joint council want to do something, put an overlay up there? We have before several years ago.
Yeah.
We are responsible for the town's portion, which basically goes from First Avenue out just to pass, you know, what.
Past the last houses, yeah.
But then the rest of it is the RMs, and I don't think they're interested in it, and I think truth be told, they probably like to do the same out there than what they did to the fairgrounds.
That's what they, I think that's what they said, I remember that conversation, because we were looking at that, them paving it while they're paving the cemetery.
Yeah.
That same.
And I personally think that's a step backwards. To go from paving back to gravel.
Lots of people walk out.
So many people, I'm at my in-laws, there's just people up and down that road, because there's no dust there.
Well, yeah, and then if it's gravel, are they gonna dust control? I just think it's a step backwards, and we should really lobby to get that done.
Well, we can bring it up again.
Joint meeting.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Can
all
you
I
put it
have.
down in the joint meeting, please? Thank you.
Done.
You're done?
That's it.
Okay, I got a couple things. I don't know if anybody's noticed or not, I've been getting phone calls from reporters. I got one this morning from CGC and I did 2 interviews, with Brandon Sun. One was about the community safety officer and the other one was about speed reductions on 351 and Wellwood Road. I don't, I'm not like some of the RM, I will, you know, it raises the profile of the town. And when you talk about speed reductions, the reporter did contact Lisa Naylor, the Minister of Manitoba Transportation Infrastructure. So if it rattles a few cages, that's the purpose. And tomorrow, CPC wants to do an interview on the CSO. And like I said, last time, at last month's meeting, I really think we need to go, get going on this.
Mhm.
We're at the caucus meeting. The woman sat beside me and I think she was the CAO. I thought she said Cornwallis, but I thought it was someone just, but anyways, nonetheless, she says her municipality is very interested in joining us. And there was another one, I forget who it was, but I don't know where we stand. We set a reserve for it. If we've got the reserve, I think we should move forward and I think we need to know what the steps are moving forward. Do we need to go talk to a minister? How do we set this up? We've never done this before. So in the absence of not doing it before, is there a process through the legislature, or can we just go ahead and hire a CSO? Like I know there's legislation regarding community safety officer.
Well, they had that presentation, remember, right?
Yeah,
They had that presentation. So like that, then minister there talked about that and said to give him a show for any new communities.
Yeah.
And they'll give you the whole breakdown of what you need. What their ARPs are and what they need for, like, they had that old, remember that in the, when we were in Winnipeg?
Yes. then-
So-
yeah.
so I think we need to move forward on it. I want to talk to Grady about it when he gets back. But if, like, I'll help, I guess for lack of a better way of putting it, champion this thing, if anybody wants to help out to get moving on this, because I think like when we see these people driving quads up streets and not stopping at stop signs, no helmet on, barking dogs, parked where they shouldn't be parked and yada, yada. We can pass all the bylaws and policies in the world, but if they can't be enforced, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
So if we have to go it alone, I know, I don't want to, but if, we need to get it started. And if we, kickstart this thing, maybe that'll spearhead maybe Glenbrook and South Cypress by saying, yeah, okay, we're in.
like I know that two communities I was in, Pond, Thompson, they both have many
Yeah,
CSOs.
yeah.
So even giving a shout to them, like I know a guy used to be in, he's a community safety officer for them, he's also in the top fire departments I know.
Yeah.
But like, I know that they were even have to helping with the humanitarian aid.
Well, I was gonna say, you said the last time they're helping out with, evacuees and all.
Yeah, I've seen them getting people off the helicopters in the paw, right? Like, cause they're peace officers, right? So,
They're in Winnipeg as well at some of the centers where people are staying.
yeah. So again, like, yeah, again, like a shared thing, but like, again, I can talk to, his name's Mike, I'm not gonna say his last name, in the Bob, I can call him. But then, give it a quick call to their CEO or whatever, see, hey, what was it? Cause I know that they did, like I said, they had to get the trucks and whatever equipment, but then they got sent to ACC for their,
Yeah,
that part of their training. And then they graduated them and they're the CSOs for that. It was right at ACC, right in Brandon, they did this course.
Yeah.
So, cause like, that's how I ended up bumping into them was
Yeah.
at lunchtime, so.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing. I mean, somebody's gotta kickstart this. We kind of initiated this at the AMN convention back in November, so I say, let's get going. Maybe we are the ones that need to kickstart it, just to be the ones for everybody else to jump on, and if it's okay with council, I can make a few calls. I can call Minister Samari's municipal affairs, but he might be able to put me on to somebody and we'll get going on this. We good with this?
Yeah.
I'll do that.
can a safety officer do anything with traffic
Yeah.
infractions?
Mhm.
Like highway traffic? act?
Yeah, they can pull people over and give tickets.
Yeah.
You bet.
Okay,
So I
that's
have
the
an interview tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock with CBC. I think these, people are genuinely interested in how this community safety officer program is gonna go. So.
There are 3 people at work that stopped me from reading something about Carberry looking to
Yeah.
a CSO. They're from different communities and
Yeah.
they're very intrigued and impressed.
Yeah, so if we can get it out there, even these interviews, if we can get out there in the media, maybe there's somebody out there that. Hey, maybe I might apply for that job.
Yep.
Cause there's one thing about getting things going, but it's another thing about getting somebody actually in the job. We actually go through the motions and posting it and all that, so. I'll make a couple of phone calls and see what I come up with. The caucus, we had the caucus a week ago and it went well. And I thank very much all of the people that helped out, from Teresa to Kara to Callie, Bill, myself. Bill was the coffee master, although, yeah, and the coffee was good. It was ready just at the time everybody was leaving.
Yeah,
It doesn't work.
Yeah. But it looked good and it went well. Like, we took pictures and I had compliments from everybody that was there. They said Carberry did really good. And the meal put on by the grads, excellent.
So good.
Yeah.
Good.
So everything was good. I think they're gonna want us to do this again. So just throwing that out there. The White House that we talked about earlier, I wanted to bring up. We have talked about, and I don't know where we're at on this. We've talked about putting siding on the White House, and we've also talked about siding that garage that we've got over beside the old town shop. What's everybody think about moving forward with that and getting some tenders? I don't know where we're at. We've talked about it and then it just kind of fell.
For it.
Get it done.
It's in the
Yeah.
budget, so.
Get it
Yeah.
done.
Okay, so who do we see about putting the tenders out for that, or do we just approach people? We need 3.
Well, it'd be
3
not,
quotes.
wouldn't it? Because they're only town codes.
Yeah.
So I would have to put those together, being the town foreman, right?
Is that a him thing?
Yeah, like they take care of if they take care of the lift station, that other little garage that belongs to us, those buildings are no different, I don't think.
Okay, because we're going gangbusters right now, and I just think that the matching siding on that garage over by the, that would just fix it right up.
Yeah.
And the siding on the White House, it's falling off. It needs a redo, so,
Let's do it.
yeah.
You
Okay.
get a tender for both.
So is that- Will you talk to Scott,
Yeah,
Teresa, or you want, if you need help from me, just let me know.
okay.
Here. Talking about the CAO. I got one here, but it's another in-camera one. What else? I think that's all I got. You got anything, Christian?
Yeah, for the legislative tour thing, that's on the 20th, right?
I believe so.
And how are we getting there, like are you and Brady and we all, are we all gonna do?
I haven't got a clue. You know what? Last week was just,
What was said in the last meeting was that you and Brady and Christian were going in the PSU.
I will, he's back Thursday. I'll talk to him about it and see where we're at on that.
Okay.
Okay. That's all you got?
Yep.
Okay, is there anything, Teresa?
No.
John?
Oh, I don't think I do.
Okay. All right, that's it then. I will read this, next motion in camera. I got a couple things to go over there. So if we're done around the table, nothing else on the agenda. Okay. I'll read this, resolution in camera, resolution number 149-25. Be it resolved that council move in camera under section 1523B2 of the Municipal Act to discuss personnel matters. Moved by,
Sam,
seconded by, moved by Sam, seconded by Mike.
Yep.
All those in favor? Opposed, carried.